Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mastodon Comics and Music. This is another episode of the Top interview show where I ask the guest their musical journey as far as bands, their favorite bands, favorite some of their albums that they go to. And tonight, my guest is a big supporter in the community. He's been kicking it on YouTube for quite a while. He told me backstage he's been doing the YouTube thing for quite a while, and so I'm going to bring him on. Mark Knapp.
Hey, what's happening, Donnie? How you doing, man?
Good. So you were saying backstage that you and your brother were doing stuff musically.
Oh yeah. We took a long hiatus from playing. He had his drum set stored over at my brother-in-law's house. The roof caved in. My brother-in-law was going to throw it away. By free coincidence, I was like, just save the cymbals. My wife went out, picked the drum set up. Well, she was only supposed to pick the cymbals, but brought the whole set back. I cleaned it up, put it together. The kids were banging on it. He came over one weekend, and he's like, go buy an amp. I'm like, what? He's like, let's jam. I still have my guitar, but no amp. So I went and bought an amp, and I think we posted the video like 10 years ago. It's still somewhere there on Facebook or on YouTube on my channel. But yeah, we started jamming again. And right now we have, I don't know, pretty much a full band.
Nice.
Yeah, we recently just did a cover of Paranoid from Sabbath. And my girlfriend played violin in it. And yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I watched that video the other day.
Awesome.
I thought it played pretty well.
Yeah, and we recorded that all with the phone. The editing's pretty nice. She does the editing.
Okay.
I just bought a cord, so I'm going to try to drop 2 condenser mics out and do a little bit more with that, but we'll see how that goes. Sound's a problem, but we're working with it.
Yeah. Well, that space that you're in, I don't. Is it the camera angle, or am I just seeing it a tight space?
Oh, it's a tight space, but the camera angle is bizarre because we're trying to get everybody in it. The room is about, I think, 12 by 14. But we're all pushed back because of the doorways.
Right.
So what we did, I just had like a selfie stick with the phone kind of pulled up. And it's a little tight, but we're trying to get everyone so they're visible. A little bit visible at least.
I thought, man, that's gotta be a struggle to try to get that video off.
Well, originally, if you go to some of the older videos, we were in my basement, and that was tight. And it's gloomy and doomy down there, and it's cold. We called it the dungeon. The upstairs is the tone lab. The downstairs is the dungeon.
Appropriately named.
It's weird. I got like a 15-second delay. So I have my TV on also. It's like a 15-second delay from the laptop to the TV.
Okay.
Just kind of weird. I just looked at the TV. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny.
So I guess I'll start off with the question the one I normally ask first is, what are some of the albums that have become real personal to you? What I guess go-to albums, maybe.
Let's see, growing up, I was a music snob. Like, I only listened to punk rock music. Punk rock was it. And I was hardcore, like Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, Fear, Social Distortion, you know, Crumb Suckers. I really like that band too. But as punk kind of faded out, I had to find something different. And Iron Maiden's first album, fell in love with it. Fell in love with the cover art. Judas Priest, just, I mean, it was such a transition to go from what I was listening to in kind of the metal genre. But I was kind of like secretly listening to that music to myself, I guess. But wow, like my go-to albums would be like Misfits, Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruits for Rotting Vegetables was one of my all-time favorite albums. Dead Kennedys.
It's a great album.
Wow, that's really a hard question. I never really thought about it. I mean, Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bullocks, that was just a staple, you know. Decline of the Western Civilization, the compilation, that was a staple, you know. But like life-changing, I hate to admit it, but Metallica changed my whole view on music. They had enough punk rock, enough thrash, enough something to, like, Ride the Lightning. I can just listen to that album over and over again. Kill 'Em All, over and over again.
Yeah.
I get a little weird. Master of Puppets was a great album. Sanitarium was a great song, but there was something that was just different at that point. I like horse style rock. Like I like Ghoul Town. They're like one of my more favorite, like, I don't know if they're, some people might say that they have a country western sound, but I listen to them a lot. Shoot. Typo Negative, I really got into them for a period of time. They just, like, something was there that made me feel good about listening to it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, there's too many. Because right now I've been listening to, like, Turbo Negro a lot. They're pretty badass. I don't know. I'm kind of all over the board. I mean, you can throw on rap music and I'm good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
We had the ICP come to Erie. What was that, a year and a half ago? That was pretty amazing. We actually had we had Typo Negative in Erie, you know, as a bar band, actually.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's, wow. I mean, I guess I could see that.
It was weird. It was assholes and elbows in the bar, but they were still there, you know. And I was like, wow, this is just cool. I couldn't take the crowd. It was just too much. So I had to fall back, but it was like, woof.
Yeah, that's that was kind of my issue when I went to see. I saw. I told Jim Boatwright this. I saw Guar and Devil Driver at a local bar up around Penn State campus, and it was called the Crowbar at the time, and so they were always bringing in acts like that. Actually, I think there was a band that they brought in called Crowbar that was there quite frequently.
Crowbar, I've seen Crowbar. They're awesome.
Yeah. And that bar had a lower level and an upper level, and the upper level was where the bar was. So when Guar was playing, I went upstairs. I got a bunch of shit about it, but I went upstairs to actually just watch the show and toss a few back. But
I always wanted to see Guar.
Oh, it was a great show.
One of the best freaking shows.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great show. But yeah, I hear you on that tight space.
My favorite show I ever went to was I got to see GBH in Pittsburgh, and they played with a band called The Accused. And at the time, I had never heard of The Accused, and I was absolutely blown away. I was like, "What the hell did I just hear?" And I went and bought what was the name of that album? More Fun Than an Open Casket Funeral. And
yeah.
I loved it, dude. I was like, how did I never hear this band before? Cover art was great. All the songs were great. They did a cover of Evil Woman that was just wickedly cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, GBH was amazing. And they came out and shook hands, and it was a good show.
Nice. Yeah, I've never seen The Accused, but I've heard a lot of their stuff.
Oh, yeah, amazing. There's a lot of bands I missed out on. I never got to see Dead Kennedys. I never got to see Henry Rollins or Black Flag. That's kind of a regret. But
yeah,
I've seen Maiden, which is on my top list. I never saw Black Sabbath with Ozzy, which absolutely stinks. And I always wish I had an opportunity, but I just never had an opportunity that presented itself. Like, here you go, man. Oh, never got to see the Pistols either, but not many people did. So,
right.
Okay. Big shit.
I'm trying to think of my next question. I need to write my questions down. I'm very bad at that. I'm terrible at that. I guess we'll talk about concert experiences. You kind of inadvertently segued into that. The other than the GBH and Accused concert, what are some of your favorite memories, concert memories?
Concert memories? My favorite concert memory is my friend Chuck was taking his girlfriend to see the Backstreet Boys. And somehow they broke up. It was at the Richmond Coliseum, Ohio. And he called me up. He's like, I don't want to waste these tickets. Please come with me. I don't want to go by myself. Chuck was like a DJ rapper dude. Like, he did a lot of like venues, like local bars and stuff for karaoke, and he was a DJ. I was like, I don't care. I'll go. Well, anyways, he shows up to pick me up, and he's in a polka dot suit, polka dot tie, polka dot suit, polka dot everything. I'm wearing jeans, a pair of Nikes. I think I was wearing a Murphy's Law t-shirt and a leather jacket. We got there. People are scrambling towards me, like, and saying things, and I couldn't understand what was going on. Well, here, they thought I was the local DJ that was giving away a backstage pass for the first one that found me. I found that out later, but I was getting mocked because I was so out of the ordinary there. But as me and Chuck are sitting next to each other, people are looking at us a lot, and I looked over, I'm like, oh, God, we do not look like a couple. We look like a couple. Just odd. I'm like, but it was a great concert. There was like, I think they had 6 bands. I can't recite them all because that wasn't the music I was into. But there was 50,000 in attendance. And when those little kids screamed, they drowned out the entire band. I mean, there was like, it was that loud. It was very interesting. I was really out of place, but I had a good time. The other one that was really out of place was Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, and I think Murphy's Law played that. But when I walked in, one dude looked at me and goes, Metallica's not playing tonight. And I was like, oh, you're so funny. But that was a good show, too. But I had a backstage pass that day because I was working at a radio station called WMCY through Mercyhurst College, and I was supposed to meet the Beastie Boys that night. But man, they bailed like so quick. I mean, so my backstage pass was pretty much useless. I stood there,
Right.
got to meet nobody, and went home. But still, the concert was awesome.
Right.
Yeah, WMCY. It was all Mercyhurst College, but we did a metal show and a rap show, and the only real restraint we had was swear words. So you had to be prepared. You had to know your song. You could play whatever you wanted, as long as you did not let the swear words slip over the radio station.
Right.
So you could play a lot of cool stuff. You just had to be ready. Beep beep. You know, that was a good thing. That was all volunteer. I didn't get paid for that, but it was a great time.
That reminds me of my buddy had when we were in college, he had a radio show, and I used to go up and hang out with them while they were doing the show. And he told me about the stipulations that they had as far as etiquette.
Yeah.
Should we say?
Well, Mercyhurst is Catholic.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how many nuns were involved in that school, but yeah, you had to be a little on the tight side. It was like they let you play Slayer. You can get away with it. Just don't let the F word cross by.
I guess what do you remember the first album you ever picked up?
Actually, the first album I ever bought was a really strange one. It was a soundtrack from the Repo Man. And the reason I bought it was I had heard Suicidal Tendencies, and I only heard a clip of Institutionalized. And all said and done, we found it. I could not find the Suicidal Tendencies album locally. And it was on the Repo Man soundtrack. And I bought the Repo Man soundtrack just for Suicidal Tendencies Institutionalized. And it was great. And the second one I bought was Dead Kennedys Bleed For Me. And
Nice.
It was an EP, which I didn't even realize, but there's only 2 songs on it. I was so bummed out. I was like, because back then we were swapping cassettes, you know. Here,
Right.
you take this cassette, I just recorded it, and we had these little old tape recorders, record anything you get off of them and go for it. Later down the road, I was buying everything, but I kind of was buying record albums like I buy comic books. Sometimes it's the cover art. You know what I mean? It was like,
Right.
never heard of the band, but man, their cover art was freaking amazing. I'm like, I'm going to listen to you. But there's a band called Blood Feast, and I just like their cover art. And the band's pretty good. They do one song called Dropping Like Flies. I love that song. But I like their cover art. That's the only reason I even ever listened to them. And I mean, there are so many of those bands, you know. But at one point, it was like you were overwhelmed with how many bands were put out. You know, I bought Napalm Death, and although people rave about that, I just wasn't into that 8-second long songs, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a lot of like I don't know, I don't want to say local, but just breaking into the scene. They were putting out like little EPs on records, but like, I still have an original Half-Life EP that they made themselves, and it's a cherished item of mine. I'll never separate from that. I keep that. It's a decoration. I love it. I've seen them multiple times. They're an amazing band for back in that day. They never got anywhere, but good band.
Yeah.
Like my band, I was playing with a band called Antagonist. We were kind of like a local. We were doing like a metally New York hardcore sound, but because we're so close to New York, we were getting a lot of the hardcore bands from New York City coming to Erie and back and forth. So it's like we played with NoFX. We played with, oh crap, I can't even think of all the bands now. But we had a lot of the bands transitioning back and forth through Erie because the hardcore scene in Erie was actually pretty happening. You know what I mean? It was like there. And people were traveling. The Olean kids, Olean, New York, those fuckers weren't afraid to drive. They were here every freaking weekend. And we had a little place called the Continental Ballroom, and we would pack this place. I on my playlist, I put one video of Antagonist on there. It's 20, maybe 30 years old. The sound quality sucks. The video quality sucks. But you could actually see the people and how excited they were just to be there. You can see the real scene. Like my oldest son and his buddy, they're both musicians too. When they watch the video, they're like, I wish shit was like this still. When people were still excited about music and just like, instead of supporting a Facebook, they showed up to watch it play, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, and the energy was there. Like I was just watching old Fear video from Saturday Night Live, and I love it. It's like his microphone's getting knocked away from him. He's trying to get it. Finally gets knocked down. He takes his guitar off, puts it down, and just picks up the mic because he knows he can't play at this point. And it's like, I love that. I love that energy, you know? It's like, this is what music is. You know, it's not about just sitting there going, okay. It's have fun. Go out and enjoy yourself. Let loose. You know, turn your inhibitions off for 1 hour. You know what I mean? Just have a freaking good time. And people are afraid to do that. And nowadays, if you turn your ambitions off for 2 seconds, someone shoots you. You know, it's like, it's like, well, I still go to bars and I still go to venues, but it's always the typical. I got to take that back. I like what I go to see, but everything's covers now. You know what I mean? It's pretty rare you're seeing an original band. And that's kind of why my band's we're just doing a ton of covers. And we're not really playing out, but we're having fun doing some video editing and, you know, just playing around, see what happens. And we're not expecting like to make like, you know, 1 million views or nothing, but it's fun to see 50, you know. It's like, shit, this one hit 50 views.
I get okay. That formulates a question. With the covers, do you think everything has already been written?
No, I definitely don't think that at all. I definitely don't think that. I mean, I know there's only 12 notes on a guitar. I know there, but you can look at bands. I can't even think of. Well, I'm blanking out. But the one band started doing like metalcore with rap, and I was like, "That's cool," you know. They did a song called "Youth of the Nation." We are. But I was like, "Well, that's unique, you know. That's cool." Then like the stoner rock style, that was mind blowing for a little while. I was like, some of that shit's really happening. It's like, Corrosion of Conformity, Albatross. How can you not like that song? It's just like, what? It's just an amazing formula, but it's like they're still playing the same notes that everyone else has played, just structured different rhythm. The vocal pattern's amazing. And, I can't think of the name of it, but Corrosion of Conformity did the same, God Help Me Clean My Wounds. Mind blowing. But then I went back and Misfits did a version of Helena. I don't know if you've heard Elena from Misfits, but if you listen to
Yes.
that, they kind of took the riff of Clean My Wounds from Corrosion of Conformity and added their own style over it. Then it almost goes into Metallica riff, but it's still a great freaking song. If you haven't listened to Helena from Misfits, you absolutely have to listen to that. It's
Yeah.
up there in my top songs.
Great song. I haven't heard that. It's been a while since I've heard that. Yeah. I'm thinking probably 15 years since I've heard that.
Oh, I still listen. That's on my playlist, so I hear that at least once a week.
I like. I was a big fan of the Misfits. I got introduced to them early in college. Them and Danzig and all that stuff. Yeah. And I was like, this stuff's pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet. The Misfits are hard to stop listening to.
Yeah. Yeah. I work in a warehouse, so there's been many occasions
all day.
Yeah. There's been many occasions where I'd be rolling through the racks, singing "We Are 138" or Skulls or.
We cover Skulls.
Yep, I watched that one too.
All right, I'm gonna hit the head. You got to entertain for 3 minutes.
All right. I'm gonna hit the chat. Say hello to everyone. I know Miss So stopped in. I don't know if she's still here, but hello, Miss So. Steve Whiting, Stone Cold One himself. Pages Films with Plastic, always a pleasure to see you in the chat. Brother Hialeah. I guess that's it. I know there was some other ones watching for a spell. Want to thank everybody that stops in, especially when I'm doing a live show and says hello, drops a comment, even if it's a wave or whatever. It's humbling, I should say. And if you didn't check it out, last Saturday we did on Cover to Cover. We did Highway to Hell with Hialeah Comic Bro, Jim Boatwright, and Steve Whiting was on there with us and talked about Highway to Hell, a great classic album from AC/DC.
Yeah, when I worked in a warehouse, we had a little weird situation because of the PA system. And the other dude hated metal. He was into like this mumbly rap stuff. So I couldn't play shit. So everyone would walk around with their phones. I'm like, okay, my phone don't last that long. But COVID wiped that job out for me. Stupid ass. We were pulling 2,000 orders a day the whole time I was there for a year. As soon as COVID started rolling through, it went like 115, 6. My last day, I pulled 7 orders. I was like, this. But we supplied only hotels, bars, restaurants, and small hospitals.
Okay.
So, they crushed it. I hope they're doing good now, because I'm back at my old job, but I hope they're doing good. Because it's like that was a good company to work for.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite band? I want to ask you a question.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, really? No shit.
Yeah.
Cover Art pulled you in first, right?
Maybe a little bit. The first record that I heard from them was Brave New World, and
Yeah.
I listened to it a little bit, and then set it on the shelf, and then somebody mentioned Killers, so I went and picked Killers up,
That's
and
amazing.
that album was in my car CD player like nonstop for like a month, maybe 2 months, I can't remember. And that's the album that sealed the deal.
Killers is one of my
Really?
all-time favorites. But I heard Charlotte the Harlot, and for some reason, that song has ingrained in my brain. I love the song. I love the rhythm. I even like his vocals. I just
Yeah.
love the song. And what was the song that caught me off guard that I didn't expect to like was Blood Brothers.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. It different, but it makes my hair stand up a little bit. It's like, it's such an amazing song. It's like, how do people write something that freaking good? You know, it's like, damn, they knocked it out of the park with that song. And it's not against, but it's different than what I normally listen to. You know, it was just like, damn. But Eddie is a great mascot.
Oh yeah.
So they had it going. They had it going. They kind of had a plan, I think.
Yeah, it was a few years in the making for Steve. I know that he had quite a few people move in and out of the band. And it's a weird thing that the guy that called Thunderstick was one of the first drummers, and he went on to Samson.
Okay, I did not know that. And
they got Bruce Dickinson from Samson.
All right.
So I think there was a lot of that going on.
The first one was Paul D'Angelo, right? He was the first singer.
Yeah, Paul D'Angelo was the first singer. Yeah.
I liked his raw vocals. I'm not saying I don't like Bruce Dickinson's, but I liked his raw style of sound.
Yeah, I think that's why I like Killers so much. Now, it's not my favorite Maiden album. That's Peace of Mind. But
Peace of Mind was
yeah, that's for other reasons. But yeah, that Derek Riggs art is phenomenal, just phenomenal. I wish I had the new album in here. It's out in my truck, but I don't know. I'm assuming he did the cover art for that, but that the Samurai is ridiculous.
Okay, I've just recently seen that. I just watched a little documentary on all their albums.
Yeah,
so I'm not that far into listening to them, but the cover art on that was different, the same, and good. They changed it just enough, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, when I first started listening to Maiden, my buddy gave me a cassette of the original Queensryche, Queen of the Reich.
Nice.
And on the backside was Queen of the Reich with Killers, and on the other side was a band called Raven.
Yeah.
And I have not listened to Raven in so long, but now that you're talking about it, I keep thinking it in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to listen to them a little bit tonight, maybe.
Right? It's been a minute since I've listened to them, too. I went through a spell where I was trying to seek out all those new wave of British heavy metal bands like Angel Witch and shit. What's some of the other ones? Saxon and
Saxon, the Night of the Living Suck Pants.
Yeah.
I like Saxon. But that Beavis and Butthead said that. It was like so funny because it was like Saxon was just they got caught in this little shit trap because they fell into that mainstream end of it. And it was like but they had some good songs because like except Uno. I still love that band, dude. It's like I played Balls to the Wall for my one boy who had never heard them. He's like,
right?
Like,
and he's just a little guy. He's just freaking tiny.
Yeah, there was such an onslaught of those bands. At one point, there was just like no way to listen to them all. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm buying this, I'll buy that. Oh, I got a dub copy of this. Okay, let's go there. It's like my cassette collection got so big at one point, I didn't even know what to listen to. And it's like, but I always fell back on my little random what I listened to the most. But it was like, and CDs, when they first came out, I'm like, these will never catch on. Yeah, I was so wrong. but
and now they're all but gone.
Yeah, but vinyl's coming back. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. I saved a few vinyls.
I bought this at Walmart.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah. That's the first brand new vinyl I've ever owned. I didn't even take it out of the wrapper yet.
Hell yeah. I'm a Rush fan myself.
That's the It album for me.
That was the most careful I've ever seen anybody move an object. I have an exact place for that to go, and it better fall right into that situation. Yeah, my vinyls are packed away. I kept a few, and a few of the wrong ones. I kind of wish I had some of the other ones I had gotten rid of, but I have some cool Kiss stuff. I still have was it Kiss Alive 2 with the original insert to join the army. And that's kind of cool.
Nice.
And I still have my name written on it. I never sent it in with my dad's address. I was like, okay, I'm hanging on to this one.
Yeah, that's definitely one worth keeping.
Yeah, my buddy, he picked up some. They're actually photo frames made for LPs, and he did his front entry of his house in Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden. It's pretty freaking cool. I haven't got to that point yet, but I'm like, I could do something like that, you know.
I have a few of those. I had originally there was. I don't know if. Well, no, it's not a. The air ducts in my house, in my basement here, go down the sides, and at the opposite end that I'm facing, there's a space in there that I'd be able to put a row in there. It never got done.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But instead, I have them hanging above the TV. I have Folsom Prison hanging up there, Full for the City, Molly Hatchet, and Frampton.
Molly Hatchet is another. They're an eye catcher on the covers.
Yeah.
Great artwork.
Yep. Yeah, they seem to have been fans of the Frazetta stuff.
Hell yeah. And you said the other one was what, Peter Frampton?
Yeah.
I saw Peter Frampton in Buffalo a few years ago at an outside concert, and it was freaking amazing.
I heard that he still puts on a fire show.
I was mind blown. He played just enough old songs and just enough new songs. And I was like, mind blown.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to drive. That was a plus. So I was able to drink. But we got there. You ain't allowed to drink in the pavilion. You have to be outside of the pavilion to drink. I was like, ah. So it was a short night of drinking, but it was still amazing.
That's when you sneak in the beer backpack.
I wish I could have. It was an outside concert, and I smoked cigarettes. I wish I didn't, but I do. You had to be outside the pavilion to even smoke a cigarette, even though it was outside concert. But okay, that's what's nice. Like the Blossom's awesome because you can do whatever the hell you want to do. That's a good place to go to a concert. I saw Testament, Iron Maiden. Was Testament, Iron Maiden? Shoot, there's another big band. But yeah, wow, that was good. Only bad part about the show was Iron Maiden didn't bring out a great Eddie. They had a blow up version instead of a mechanical one.
Okay.
But it was still great. And I'm sitting there, and someone starts poking me on the shoulder. I look back, I'm like, what is? It was a friend of mine right from local, Erie, Pennsylvania. He's like, didn't expect to see you here. I'm like, well, I didn't expect to see you guys here either. But hey, they're like literally right behind me. That was awesome. Yeah, there's so many bands I'd love to still see, but Sabbath with Ozzy is my biggest, like, Sabbath is amazing to me. Their songs are great to play. They're fun to play.
Yeah.
I would love to ever just one time see Dead Kennedys, just one time, just to satisfy something that I feel like I needed. Henry Rollins, even if I could have saw him do a stand-up, like a spoken word, that would have pleased me. I really like him a lot. He's kind of like an idol. He's there. He's thoughtful. I don't know. He hits me like where I feel I live.
Right. Yeah, I gained a whole new respect for Henry Rollins after I watched his spoken word. That was
I loved it.
Was real cool. The way his eyes lit up when he was talking about who was it, Robert Fripp from King Crimson? Oh my God, that was gold.
Oh. See, in Erie, when I was really, really young, I'm gonna say, I don't know, how old are you like in 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, like 13 or 14? We had a punk band, and there was a band called the Thirsty Brats. There was a band called Tex and the Horseheads. A band called FOD, which stood for Faces of Death, based off the show Faces of Death.
Okay.
And I got to see him regularly, and I loved it. It was like, and I became friends with the people that were in Thirsty Brats. It was the Selecki brothers, but great. I mean, Erie had so much going on, and it just fizzled out so quick.
Yeah.
And if you came to a show right now, you ain't gonna see much original stuff. You're gonna see cover bands that are really good. I mean, really good. My friend's band Flight, they're amazing. But back when all them bands were going on, there was a metal band called Talon, and they're kind of reunited after 30 years, and they're playing out this weekend. So nice. I went and saw them last weekend because they did a little tiny set, but they're playing a full set this weekend, and they do all originals, which is kind of interesting for Erie. You know, I was like, someone's doing something again. But, it's not going to really happen all that much, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
So you play an instrument?
I dabbled a little bit in the bass
Hell yeah.
with my buddy from college. He was avid in guitar and been in several bands and stuff. But I got to the point. Well, I got injured at work, and it made trying to play weird. I couldn't.
Right.
It was weird. It was, and I hadn't I hadn't picked it up in quite some time, and I just got rid of everything.
Oh man, dude,
Do I
you
wish
still
I hadn't? Yes.
you still
Yeah.
have a
I wish I hadn't.
at least you can bang on that fucker once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate
Yeah.
for. I believe everyone should know how to play an instrument.
Yeah. That's why I have a keyboard that I bought secondhand, and my daughter started to learn a little bit here, which is it's helpful that my mother-in-law plays piano and organ, so she's helping her.
Church pianist.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. They're the best because they can spot read, they can ad lib.
Yep.
I appreciate that shit. But it's like, I wish I always learned how to read music, but I was lazy and wanted to learn songs.
Yep.
I'm looking at these notes. I want to know how to play from the bell tools. Teach me this.
Yeah.
And now I play music by kind of sight, as like I watch what other people are doing with their fingers.
Right.
The rhythm comes natural, but the notes don't. But I have fun with it. But yeah, I want all my kids to know how to play something. And my one boy, he likes to rap. And he's has some stuff that he put out on whatever Spotify or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's wrong. But he's put out some stuff. It's pretty good. But none of my kids took an interest into it. It was like, we make noise here every freaking day. I got almost a full video. My kids are 30, 24, 22, and 20. And then 3. So the 3-year-old crawled up on the drum stool and was sitting there, and I grabbed my camera to take a picture. He was being all cute. I snapped a picture of him being cute. As I turn my head and look back at him, he falls forward onto the stairs.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking eat shit. He's bleeding all over the place. And the worst part was, before I took the picture, I'm like, I should probably get him down right now. I'm going to get a quick picture. I'm like, then I felt terrible. I'm like, ah. But he was okay. I mean, no serious injury, but yeah, he looked like shit for about a minute and a half. I was like, damn it. Yeah, we brought all the stuff upstairs because it was like, we wanted to shoot a Halloween video. That's why we did the makeup and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. We really had a good time. The makeup, I don't know if I'm a fan of that or not, but I did it. But I think the videos came out for, how would I say, serious amateur. Came out okay. And I hope other people maybe like them or something. You never know. But it was fun, and it gives us an outlet. The outlet was what we needed. We needed, because we're not playing out enough, we needed an outlet for someone else just to see us say, hey, you suck, you're great, you suck, whatever.
Right.
We didn't even care. It was just an outlet. Oh. But I've been working on my gear. I'm trying to do all USA. So I have Gibson Sonics 1983, made in the USA. It's the lowest end Gibson you can buy made in the USA. Then I bought a Taft 2-amp factory amp that are handmade in Cleveland, and I'm using a DoD distortion pedal.
Nice.
So I kind of got the lowest end, all USA made gear you can possibly buy. Not that I'm against anything else, but I wanted to do that. Like my BC Rich is Korean, and I love that fucker. It's great.
Right.
I like Behringer. I don't even know where they're made, but I like the Behringer stuff. But that was my goal. I wanted to put together a nice setup of all USA stuff. And the funny part is that Gibson is my go-to guitar. It's the one I play the most. It's the one. Well, actually, it's the only one I play anymore. I don't even play the other ones.
Yeah.
Come on. This cat's driving me nuts. It just sits at my feet and wants me to pet it. At least it's not whining.
All right. Well, that was all the, I guess, the base questions I had for you.
Alrighty.
If there was anything else you wanted to talk about,
Well, I'm good.
okay. I guess we'll go on to the closing questionnaire.
Uh-oh. I actually looked at this and didn't prep for it. I asked you for it twice.
All right. What is your favorite word?
Favorite word? Done.
Done. What is your least favorite word?
It's kind of a combination of can you. I'm a maintenance guy, and everyone's like, can you? And it's always hitting me. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's see what they want me to do.
What turns you on? What excites you?
What excites me? I love waking up about an hour before the alarm clock and realizing I can still sleep for another fucking hour. I just love it. It's like, oh.
What turns you off?
What turns me off? Bad cooks.
What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of a cracking open beer right when I get home from work. I wish I had one open that I could give you an example.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Yeah, I hate freaking crotch rockets flying down the highway at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Especially at 2 a.m. What is your favorite curse word?
Well, newly discovered after watching The Boys, I love the word cunt. But I can't get away with it very often because people really get fucking offended. I can get away with the F word more than I can get away with cunt. I drop that, the whole room stops. I'm like, damn. I can't get away with it.
You'd be surprised. That's been the answer 3 times on this show.
No shit.
Yep. Probably because it's so taboo. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Well, I'm a maintenance guy, and I love guitars. When I got laid off from my job, I actually went and worked at a guitar store for almost a year. So I kind of did what I wanted to do, but outside of that, I like designing costumes and I like art. And if I had a choice, I'd love to be in a studio for costume design. I mean, I would rather do that than anything I do right now, but I'm not talented that way.
What profession would you not like to do?
I would not want to be a cop at all.
Yeah.
Especially in today's standards. And no, I would be an asshole cop and I'd probably be in jail right now. So, yeah,
Right.
that's one job never.
And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
God's going to say, "Thank God, Mark, you're here. Let's party." And he's going to already have a guitar ready for me to play. And we're going to have a good old time. Hell yeah. Well, I can't say that in heaven, can I? Maybe I get away with it. I don't know. Depends on how much God likes me that day.
All right, Mark. Well, thank you for coming on the top tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, my man.
Absolutely. The goal of this show is for the guest, for you, the guest, to be comfortable enough to share a little bit about yourself, and I'm glad you were able to do that tonight.
Dude, you're a great host, man. You made me feel so comfortable. I gave you my social security number.
No, don't do that. We don't need to do that. Again, I want to thank everybody who popped in the chat and who watched and who watches on the rewind. Thank you, Mark, again for coming on. Really appreciate it. And I don't know who is going to be the next guest. I guess I'll figure that out in the meantime. But stay tuned for the next episode of Cover to Cover. We're going to do the Beach Boys pet sounds. And Mark, do you have anything coming up on your channel or anything you're getting involved in?
I'm going to do a short video on odd things I bought at a comic book store, and that's about it. And we might throw out another music video shortly. We're thinking about Electric Funeral from Black Sabbath, but we're not sure yet. With violin, too.
That's one of my favorite Sabbath songs. I like that song. All right. Again, as always, get out there and listen to some music.
Hell yeah.